So look, you've seen the articles about, people are concerned about AI, and Elon Musk and Steve Wozniak wrote this open letter with another 1,000 people saying, let's pump the brakes on AI for 6 months. But what part of AI is so deeply concerning to these guys? Recently, 6 days ago, the president of Microsoft, Brad Smith, said the following. He said deep fakes are his biggest concern about AI. This is when he was speaking to a group of government officials, members of Congress, and policy experts last Thursday in Washington, when he shared this, saying he fears deep fakes will help create more misinformation. And by the way, it's not just him. Let's look at Google CEO. Here's what he had to say. Sundar Pichai conceded in a 60-minute interview with CBS, he said, AI will make it easier to create fake news and fake images, including videos, hence deep fakes. And by the way, this deep fake is multidimensional. It's not just about voice or video, which we'll cover that here in a minute. It's Gal Gadot, the actress Wonder Woman's in a porn, but it's a deep fake. Or all these pictures of Donald Trump getting arrested when he went to court, or deep fakes about the Pentagon being blown up to the point where the news, one of the most reputable news sources in India, is reporting on it, and the stock market collapsed because of a deep fake. This is a real issue, and we're going to talk about that today. Today's sponsor, BetterHelp. Whether you're rich, poor, middle class, married, not married, careers do well, but relationships bad, sometimes you want to talk to somebody indiscreet about your personal life. We just don't want to do it where you go to a therapist at an office and everyone's waiting there and they kind of say, hey, well, Johnny, what are you doing here? Oh, well, I was about to see the therapist. There's a solution for that. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service, and it's 100% online. At BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 25,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, you just have to answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. Then you can talk to the therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, phone, or video call. You can message your therapist at any time and schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. And by the way, if your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at any time for no additional charge. Get 10% off your first month by going to betterhelp.com/valuetainment. The link is also below, so whether you go to betterhelp.com/valuetainment or you click on a link below, you get 10% off for your first month. So look, if you get value out of this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. So let's get right into it. Look, a lot of people will say, well, deepfakes are a new thing. Now, this has got to be something new. It just started in the last 5, 10, 15 years. No, the first time we had a deepfake was in 1898 by Thomas Edison. The Edison company wanted to film the Spanish-American War, but the low-quality cameras made it challenging. Edison chose to mix real footage of marching soldiers and weaponry with staged footage of American soldiers. By manipulating the truth, the footage had the desired effect of fueling patriotism in America. This shows that the intent of deepfakes is not a new concept. Once again, Thomas Edison started deepfakes before anybody else did. So now that's from 1898, but if we look at today with the different kind of deepfakes we've had the last 5 years, here's a timeline. DHS did a guideline or report on this. If you've not seen this report, it's phenomenal to take a look at. It's very helpful. They show a timeline from 2018, starting with President Obama's BuzzFeed deepfake. And then they talk about Jim Acosta's deepfake, to Jennifer Lawrence, to David Beckham, to world leaders singing Imagine. All of these things, whether it's Tom Cruise, Mark Zuckerberg, they have them all, including Joe Rogan, and they categorize it into different types of deepfakes. Puppet deepfake. Here's what puppet deepfake looks like. And this stuff is not hard to get a hold of. The second one they call is the mouth swap deepfake. There's plenty of apps that can do it as well. Here's what it looks like.
Which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything.
The third one is a face swap deepfake, and here's the example of what it looks like.
I've been thinking, and I realized that it's been almost 10 years.
The next one is a synthetic media deepfake, and this is what it looks like.
And he had a press conference in the Rose Garden.
And then you have the audio deepfakes, and this is what Morgan Freeman sounds like saying, I'm not Morgan Freeman.
I am not Morgan Freeman, and what you see is not real.
So let's look at data to see how big of a deal this is. Like, are we really getting that big of a growth in the number of deepfakes being done? Here's what the data looks like. In 2019, we had roughly 14.6 million deepfakes. In 2020, that doubled to 29.2, then 43.8, then 58.4. 2023, they're expected to have 106.4 million total deepfakes. Imagine the influence and the manipulation on that. And by the way, there was a study done by DeepTrace saying that 96% of all deepfake videos they found were non-consensual pornographic featuring women. That's the deepfake industry today. So let's look at some of the evolution of technology on how deepfakes were made. Back in 1997, we had a video rewrite program. This program would first track facial movements in the video, and then it would rewrite the video with synthesized facial expressions. Then they evolved to 2001, the active appearance model. This model would consider the shape and the appearance, color and texture of a face, and combines these into a single unified model. Then in 2014, they came out with the generative adversarial networks. This consisted of two parts: a generator network, which creates the image, and a discriminator network, which tries to tell the difference between real and generated images. And today we have plenty of apps you can download to do deepfakes, and you can even look like Tom Cruise and go viral and have a massive TikTok account like this guy. So now let's talk about the threats, and let's talk about how you can protect yourself against it. Some feedback from us and some from DHS. Number one, political misinformation. Deepfakes can be used to create videos of politicians saying or doing things they never did. This could potentially manipulate public opinion, incite unrest, or even influence the outcomes of elections. Number two, fraud. Criminals could use deepfakes to impersonate individuals for the purpose of fraud, such as creating false identity proofs or faking video calls to trick victims into revealing sensitive information or sending money. That's pretty interesting. That can happen to a lot of boomers, elderly people. Hey ma, hey grandma, can you give me the credit card information again? And they will. Number three is corporate espionage. This is when deepfakes can be used to impersonate CEOs or other high-ranking officials, potentially leading to stock manipulation, spreading of corporate misinformation, or tricking employees into revealing confidential information. So imagine Elon Musk comes out and says, I've decided to sell Tesla, I'm retiring, I don't want to work anymore. Boom, stock drops 20%. These are the types of things that could happen. Number four, blackmail and defamation. Deepfakes could be used to create compromising or damaging images or videos of individuals for the purpose of blackmail or character assassination. Number five, spread of fake news. Deepfakes can make fake news stories seem more credible by providing seemingly real video or audio evidence to support false claims. Legal implications. Deepfakes can potentially undermine the legal system by creating false evidence that could be used to sway court cases or mislead investigations. This could be used by criminals to kind of falsify that wasn't really me. And more importantly, can you imagine if that's actually being used by some dark, dirty, evil politician and government employees to go after innocent people? It's a little scary. Number seven, national security risk. By impersonating political, military, or other leaders, deepfakes could potentially pose threat to national security, even potentially triggering military responses based on false information. Number eight, social unrest. Deepfakes can be used to incite violence and create social unrest by portraying incidents that never occurred or by feigning existing social tensions. For example, do you remember when Jussie Smollett was like, I was out there and these two African men came and they had MAGA hats on and they're screaming MAGA and America lost their minds. I can't believe racism still exists. And then all of a sudden, took us a few days to realize that wasn't real. It was fake. It was his way. His contract was coming up. He was trying to get a raise. It created such tension and division in America. That was a real person doing a deep fake. Now imagine if he could have made the video showing that happened and it was a deep fake and you and I fell for it. Imagine that. It's very possible that can happen. Wouldn't be surprised if it does actually happen. Number nine, erosion of trust. As deepfakes become more prevalent, they could contribute to a general erosion of trust in video and audio media, causing confusion and cynicism among the public about what is real and what is not. And last but not least, invasion of privacy. Deepfakes can infringe on people's privacy by using their images or voices without their consent or by creating false scenarios involving them. They can also be used to create non-consensual explicit content, which is serious violation of personal privacy. So how do you protect yourself against this stuff? Because by the way, if you're watching this, you have to know this is coming. No matter how much the government's like, well, you can't do this and you can't do that. A 12-year-old kid can take this and do this and create a TikTok profile. You know, even right now, there's a parody account of AOC. Have you seen what's been happening with this, going back and forth, how AOC doesn't want to pay for a verified account and this other parody account is dry. If you haven't read some of these tweets on what AOC has said, let me read three of them to you. You tell me how funny this is, but it's a parody account. We should have 14,768 separate Pride days, one day for every gender. Now that's pretty dumb. And that's not AOC, but it's a parody account. But it's so real because it's verified and the other one isn't. It's a form of a deep fake that's getting people to be confused a bit. If we don't move to 100% green energy soon, car emissions will kill off the human race just like it did with dinosaurs. Yeah, you know, I was going on the freeway. There was two T-Rexes right next to me and then car emissions. Again, it's getting some people that don't really look at this stuff say, I can't believe AOC said something like this. Every time my boyfriend farts, I make him plant a tree to offset his carbon emissions. Now, that one she may have said, I can see she's capable of saying that, but it's actually a parody account saying that. So Deepfakes, we got to be aware of them. How to protect yourself. Number one, media literacy. One of the best defenses against deepfakes is to be media literate. Understand that not everything seen on the internet is real, even if it looks and sounds like a real person. Be skeptic and always double check what's out there. Go look at other accounts and other news sites to see if they're saying it as well. If not, maybe hang tight before you share that with other people. Number two, verify information. If a video or audio clip seems suspicious or out of character for the person involved, verify it from multiple sources before you believe or share it. Number three, use detection tools. There's a lot of different detection tools out there. One of them we noticed was called a deepware.ai, but you can find many of them to see if something is fake or it's real. Number four, maintain privacy. Be careful about what images and information you share online. The more images and videos of you are available on the internet, the easier it is for someone to create a convincing deepfake of you. Perfect. Then I'm screwed. Number five, set up alerts. Considering setting up Google alerts for your name to monitor new content associated with your name that appears on the internet. Number six, report deepfakes. If you come across a deepfake or if you find yourself the victim of one, report it. Number seven, legislative support. Advocate for legislation and regulations that protect against the malicious use of deepfakes. Number eight, be careful in online communications. Be wary of strange or unexpected requests in video calls, especially if they involve sensitive information. Number nine, use secure encrypted communication platforms. For sensitive matters, consider using secure communication platforms that employ strong encryption to prevent unauthorized access. And number 10, awareness and education. Lastly, raising awareness about the existence and potential harm of deepfakes is crucial. The more people are aware of the issue, the less likely they are to be fooled by them. And by the way, I'll read you some of the advice DHS gave for identifying deepfakes. Blurring evidence in the face, but not elsewhere in the video or the image. A change of skin tone near the edge of the face. Double chins, double eyebrows, or double edges on the face. Whether the face gets blurry when it is partially obscured by a hand or another object. Lower quality sections throughout the same video. Box-like shapes and crops affected around the mouth, eyes, and neck. Blinking movements that are not natural. Changes in the background or lighting. Varying tone, inflection, and speech. Phrasing, would the speaker say it that way? Context of the message, is it relevant to a recent discussion or can they answer related questions? Anyways, just be aware of it. This is real. It's here. It's not going away. I guess what this does is kind of teach us to go back to what it was before. I would assume in 1980s, the average person didn't have a phone. If the husband and wife are on a phone call at 5 o'clock, and the husband's leaving work and they get into a bad fight, he's got a 40-minute drive to the house. He's not texting every second to say what he feels like it. He's got 40 minutes to cool down before he gets home and says, hey, what was that all about, right? And then they can do what they want to do. Today, when you're seeing something, don't immediately feel the need to react to it. By the way, we are all part of this scam because we're like, what? Is it? So rather, is this real? Is this really real? Hey, Johnny, is this real? Can you check this real quick? It's not. Oh, okay, it's a deep fake. Got it. No, this thing's very realistic, guy. Look at this here. And then move on. Verify it before you jump to conclusion on deepfakes you're going to see, because this is the future. It's not going away. So now there's a lot of people that all they think about is negative with AI, but there's a lot of ways to use AI in a positive way, especially ChatGPT. We did a video titled 7 Ways to Use ChatGPT in a Positive Way. If you've never seen it, click here to watch it. If you got value from the video, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.